So I've been very quiet about this situation, just because I wanted to really flush out my ideas as this goes. And some of you guys, this is very cut and dry, but I wanted to make a video that is important. And when you have a base or a following of any kind, it can be really taxing to ensure that that voice is heard appropriately and used appropriately. And so I didn't want to have harsh, rash judgments as we move forward. But yeah, what is up, guys? It's Nick MGTV. Probably for a video that you're not expecting. That's been a while since I've made something like this. But you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter down below. Actually, I'll just take out Snapchat because barely anyone hits me up there. I only use it to respond to questions. But moving forward, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, yeah, subscribe. We're actually really low because ever since I switched content, yeah, whatever. But anyway, just for someone that's probably brand new, been in the military going on 12 years, there is the disclaimer down below. These are my own opinions, no one else's but my own. Pretty much just saying I'm following the social media guidelines when I do this, and I'm going to be as tactful as possible when I do this. So if you don't know about Vanessa, she was a soldier that was having issues with harassment at her workplace, and she ended up going missing. And so when that happened, it rose a lot of questions. Now, people are trying to figure out more information as far as the time period. I wrote down here from Army Times, last seen at 11:30 a.m. on 22 April. And this was during all of the COVID stuff that was happening. So they were having random checks. They were doing checks. And she was marked present at 3 p.m., which was false. And people in the article, I'm assuming, I'm not sure if I misread it, but people are wanting answers as to why that is. And I was like, oh, that's a very simple answer. I don't think anyone was trying to cover anything for Vanessa. And I don't condone this, obviously, because we call it gun decking, which means pretty much you've faked something or said something was happening or did happen, but really didn't. And I'm going to almost assure whoever did the checks most likely was like, we know Vanessa is probably somewhere nearby. We're going to mark her as yes because we want to just mark it as yes because I don't want to deal with any issues right now. I'm going to mark yes. I'm going to go find Vanessa to reaffirm this, but I don't want to deal with getting in trouble right now or cause any more headaches. And in the military, that's pretty much the culture of you're trying not to piss off the person above you. Even me making this video, I'm trying not to piss off the person above me. That's what it comes down to. And so you're trying to be as nice and problem-free as possible. But I'll say that the person that probably did the checks, they don't say who did it. They were probably not thinking that this was going to turn into the Vanessa situation that it is. So that is most likely why they marked her as present, because they're like, I don't want to piss off my boss. I will find her. I know probably Joe Schmo is telling me that they just saw her, right? Like, or they just saw her during lunch like 2 hours ago. There's no way anything bad happened to her. They may have not even known about the situation of harassment that she was dealing with at work. These are all, looking back, possibilities, and that is not being released as far as official information. But I've been in the military long enough to know how this kind of stuff goes. Army Times did release in their article that one of the suspects they have taken into custody, it's a female that is the wife of the person they thought that did this. And then there was a male which actually took his own life. They haven't released any names as far as that goes. And kind of what happened, they have found bones near a body of water about 30 miles away from the base. And to be honest, when I look at this case, from what has been presented so far, I question, yes, an investigation was occurring against the person that was causing this issue, but there's no punishment. I really, there had to have been something to at least say military separation order. Nothing's been talked about as far as like moving these people away from each other. That's kind of what got me a little troubled with this, because I was like, there's probably more to this. And again, I want to say I'm doing a Monday morning quarterback. I'm 2020 vision hindsight type issue. That's just the way that we can look at it. And a lot of people are wanting the commanding officer of the base or the unit to be fired. And I was like, that's probably too early to even determine. And a lot of you guys don't understand this, but you have to prove negligence. And negligence is something that's very hard to prove. Look up cases about it if you want. And obviously, being so early in the case, not having more definitive answers as far as it sounds like we're coming on the horizon. It sounds like we're coming on that point of where we're about to be there to find out more or have a definitive answer. But to prove negligence on a commanding officer, you would have to have an investigation. This is not by popular demand, just that guy should be fired. That's not how this works. But I agree. I really want answers for Vanessa. I want answers for the family. I've seen a lot of military members rise up by posting on social media, trying to find the word or keep this alive to find out. I mean, we're talking about this July 1st, and she's been missing since April 22nd. So, yeah, it's definitely time for answers, and I'm hoping that we get those sooner than later. And I want to go on a personal note with this, because a lot of you guys know why I was kind of slowing down the military videos. Partially was the boot camp stuff and what happened there, but it was also stuff like this, right? I had somebody write me and ask me, should I still join because of this? And I want to say yes, right? Like, this doesn't happen every single day where we have this big it doesn't happen every day where we have a case that's big like this. And so this is not the representation of everything, right? But it is something that has happened. And I tell people all the time that we are people in the military, just like anyone else. And things will happen just like anywhere else. And it doesn't change the fact that there are good humans, there are bad humans, there are, we try to do our best to filter out those people. I mean, if it's not through a medical reason or a legal reason, such as, crime or some kind of activity before, or, not being able to have a certain ASVAB score, there's all these things that we do to try and filter that. But what does that really, does it really filter out enough? We are several 100,000 per different branch strong, and so to filter out people can be very difficult, and that process will require time, money, resources, all these other things that everyone, good idea fairies, they're great, but how can you actually implement those? And another personal thing since me changing the content on this channel, an aspect I haven't covered is I've had people come to me that They watched my videos, and then they told me that they were harassed since they were in, and that doesn't sit right with me. I had that situation with Oscar where his life was taken by somebody running the gate, and it's hard not to feel a sense of guilt dealing with people that you've helped get in that situation. And I still love the Navy, man. It's so frustrating because it's like I want to promote it, but I also take some responsibility for those situations, and I don't want to, and so I don't want to put anyone at risk. And overall, the majority of people that do this, they have a great time. Their lives change, And it only takes that like 10% or whatever less, the minority of issues to really make you feel like that. And it's hard to not have that overpower or make me feel the way I do, or why I've felt this guilt for a long time. So, all right, well, that's going to end this video. But I hope we find justice for Vanessa. I hope we find out everything about her and give her family some rest. I couldn't imagine. So, but as always, Instagram, Snapchat. But if you do have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. If you want to see more news videos from the military stuff again, let me know. I'm kind of at the point where I just want to talk about what I want to talk about, and that will be it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. But as always, the few viewers that have stuck around, I love you guys. I'll see you next time.